This is Andrew Rochford, host of the Rochford Files on YouTube and additional live streams on Twitch as well. Also, the Rochford Files right there. And for this segment, Andrew Yang announced yesterday that he was going to launch a third party. So let's go over the article real quick. Former presidential and New York mayoral candidate Andrew Yang is set to launch a third party next month, according to two people familiar with the matter. Yang is expected to start the party in conjunction with the October 5th release of his new book, Forward Notes on the Future of Our Democracy. It's not clear what the name of Yang's third party will be or how he plans to deploy it in 2022 or 2024. Yang and his team did not respond to requests for comment. But the workbook's publisher, Crown, did give some clues about the type of platform Yang may pursue. He writes in the book is an indictment of America's era of institutional failure and will introduce us to the various priests of the decline of America, including politicians whose descendants have been divorced from the people they supposedly serve. The book is blurred by business person Mark Cuban and the New York Times' Kara Swisher. In Forward, Yang does not just give us a laundry list of intractable problems, but shows us how we can find solutions if we think in new ways and summon the courage to do so. A former business person, Yang surprised many in the political world with creative outsider campaigns for both president and mayor. The presidential campaign outlasted and raised more money than those of more seasoned politicians, but ultimately did not translate to votes as he dropped out shortly after the New Hampshire primary and faded in the polls as the mayoral race came to a close. He ran predominantly on the idea of a universal basic income, which would see the government give citizens a monthly $1,000 check. It was a quirky policy proposal that did not fit neatly into the ideological prism of either party, and one Yang converts among many political figures online and in the media, some of whom dubbed themselves the Yang Gang. So here's what I think this is really going to mean to me. What we do know about Andrew Yang is his politics are slightly erratic, not like the type of erratic policies like Tulsi Gabbard, who went from being a someone who was somewhat progressive and one of the stronger anti-imperialist candidates back in 2020, now making a pretty aggressive shift to the right and dropping those anti-imperialist principles. But for Andrew Yang, I felt like his presidential campaign was based on being a center populist. There was obviously Bernie Sanders, whose campaign was big on being a left populist. Then you had Donald Trump, a fake right-wing populist, because when it comes down to it, right-wing, there is no true, genuine right-wing populist politician. So then that takes us to, but there were also some pretty big flaws with that universal basic income. It's means tested, and you only get it in place of forfeiting other social safety nets, because if the left candidate wants that, you really shouldn't be means testing it or making you pick or choose between safety nets. Now let's progress further to the New York mayoral race, where he tried to outcop Eric Adams, and try to outflank him to his right. And that right there is more in line with the true Andrew Yang, someone who's a right wing libertarian who I really believe, in spite of his framing, he's more of a laissez faire type of capitalist, which it fits within the mindset of the Libertarian Party, which, by the way, is actually worse than Republicans on certain labor issues and capitalism. And even in spite of that, so that's where I think Andrew Yang is truly at the end of the day. And while I'm not gonna begrudge anyone or shit on anyone for third party efforts, because we absolutely do need more successful parties in this country, even though there's a lot of barriers to allowing them to compete at the same level as the Democrats and Republicans. That doesn't mean we can't give up or third parties can't be useful in other ways, even if they fail to uh, do the things that make the playing field more level for them. However, what I think this means is he's really splitting the vote of the Libertarian Party. And yes, if he runs in 2024 under his new party, he probably gets a lot of those traditional Libertarian Party voters. But at the same time, this is also the challenge that you face when trying to build third parties, like the People's Party, for example. You could also argue that they're also trying to split the Green Party vote, although it's at times so little that it's not even a real big nominal number. But with Andrew Yang, both Libertarian and Green Party do have some pretty big flaws that I can understand why people would want to try other things. But next, what does that mean though? Andrew Yang could have just joined the Libertarian Party, and let's say he does that. I bet he gets 4% of the vote. I think his absolute floor in a presidential race is 3%. Just based off of what he's done, and even in spite of the fact that he's became much more shitty on issues, as he revealed in the New York mayor campaign. But let's not be dumb here. I gotta show, this is the problem with liberals and their vote shaming logic. So I'll put that up on the screen real quick. So this is Sarah Longwell. She's a banking CEO of Longwell Partners. And she says, "Allow me to be the first to congratulate Andrew Yang on electing Donald Trump president in 2024. See? And she even replies in the her own, "Sorry guys, it's just a matter of electoral math." Come on, this is why liberals are so damn obtuse with their logic of how they blame third parties. Come on. Gary Johnson had like about 4.5% of the vote in 2016, and Hillary Clinton still couldn't take advantage of that margin and beat Donald Trump. Then you also got to look at this past election where in those few states that took longer to decide for Joe Biden, like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, even though uh, Joe Jurgensen had a much lower turnout, like about 3% less than Gary Johnson, her votes were still absolutely pivotal in helping Joe Biden win those states. So if liberals had any sense of, if they had just the right frame of logic, they would understand that people like Andrew Yang and Libertarian Party candidates actually play spoiler for the Republicans, not the Democrats. Even though that's their fear mongering reality, is they just think that every third party takes away a Democratic voter, how every non Democratic vote equals a vote for the Republican candidate. So, and that's just fucking stupid. What's real is Andrew Yang has the name to actually help make it easier for Democrats to win in spite of being absolute fucking garbage. This whole, and this is just early into the Biden first term. But just let it be known, even if a candidate like Andrew Yang plays spoiler effect along with whoever runs in the Libertarian Party, that could still be enough to help save the Democratic Party from having the presidency turn back to the Republicans. But even with that being said, expect him to be a lame duck without the House or Senate. But Andrew Yang, even though I'm largely opposed to his platform, uh, good luck with the third party, and if it's success, and if it's successful, it's successful, but it's a long uphill battle no matter where that lies, left, right, or center.